Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Duchess Braids here, and I have my cousin. I'm going to be styling her hair into some knotless goddess braids. But before you guys click off, because I know we are all tired of goddess braids, I really want to go into a deep dive and detail about how I got this style done step by step, starting with the afro. Look at the afro. Of course, anyone would say this is blown out. This is how you show up to your appointment. But I want to tell you guys why braiders would rather basically the hair to be more straight than this. So basically, of course, I could braid her hair in this state. However, it can get more straight, and the goal is always to get it as straight as possible. For one, I'm parting through it, and you guys can see I'm having a little bit of difficulty parting through it. That's because the hair is not blown out straight. So the first thing I did was I sprayed some Beyond the Zone heat protector in her hair. So that's going to protect her hair from the heat of the blow dryer, especially because she has color in her hair. We don't want to do any damage or anything like that. So I go ahead and I part the lower half of her head first from ear to ear, and then I detangle it with the brush. So you saw me detangle from the root a little bit, but I never go straight through. So I detangle to make sure the root is loose, and then I go to the end and then I brush that out. And then I keep the brush at the end. I stretch the hair, and then I use the blow dryer on hot or medium to straighten the hair. So basically, by stretching it with the brush and using the blow dryer and going around it like I did, that's going to kind of help to straighten the hair. And then once I let go, I go in and pull and blow just like you guys see me doing now. So I continue to do this in sections until the entire head is blown out. So you guys will see at the end how we want you to show up when braiders ask for your hair to be fully blown out. So always do it section by section. I start at the back first, and then I do the sides like this, and then I go through the center. The center is always the hardest part to blow out, especially if you're doing it yourself. But once you get good enough practice and know how to do it, want you guys to know what the difference is between how her hair looks now on this side, which is not fully blown out, and then how it looks when it is fully blown out. One, you can comb through it easily without bumping into any knots or anything like that, and it's just straighter, and it allows for us to braid easier without having to brush through the entire time, or add in additional products to your hair to straighten it. So this definitely helps. And yeah, this is how we want it to look when we say come blown out. And if your stylist washes you and blow you out, that's even better. Okay, so now I'm going in with the infamous middle part, and you guys know I always start with the middle part. I'm going to go in front of her to make sure it's straight, even though the middle part is just a base in any of my styles. Sometimes I actually utilize it. In this case, I will be utilizing it, but not directly as a straight middle part, because we're going to be going over it as well. So I have to make sure that it's straight from the front to the back. So now I'm going in with a part that's going across her head from ear to ear. This is splitting her head in half the other way. So I'm going to take that quarter and just move it out the way, because we're not going to utilize that right now. And then I'm going to go to the back, and from the tip of her ear to the other tip of her ear, that's where I'm parting this, right? So this one has to be straight across the back from tip to tip. And then I'm going to go ahead and get that little triangular part out of the way. So I'm breaking this down because I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to fly through these goddess braids with no issues. This taking a good 20 minutes to pre-part is going to save you so much time and energy, and just makes the style flow so much easier. So I'm just breaking this part down. So this is my medium size braids, and I'm just pre-parting, and then I just plait them out the way. So this is just a way to pre-part, and then once I go back in, then I actually start the actual styling and the actual plaiting. But this is just so important, guys. This is going to save you not only time, but it also going to make sure that the parts are around the same size. It's going to make sure that your brick layering lines up properly, especially because of that middle part. That middle part is a huge guide. As simple as it looks, it's really going to guide you with your brick layering to ensure that everything falls properly on top of each other. And as I get to the top of this, you guys, I'm going one by one, part by part, section by section. As I get to the part, naturally you have to kind of curve because you're going with the head, the shape of the head. So if I went straight across, it would just be too thick in the center. So I kind of have to curve it downwards so that the parts are parallel and they are proportional. So make sure to take note of that, that the part is not going exactly straight across. It's kind of curving a little bit. And I'm always comparing it to the one below it to make sure they're around the same size. That is just so important. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to match up this part together. And in the end, you're going to see that I changed things up a bit, and I'll explain to you guys why when we get there. But I'm just lining this up. So you also have to remember that the front of your face is going to be a little bit smaller. So starting the part from the front to line up with that other part, it might have to slant a little bit. You might have to take away from the front a little bit. So it's not going to be exactly parallel sometimes, but use good judgment, guys. So doing hairstyles and stuff like this, sometimes you can't teach people exactly what to do. You just have to have a good form of judgment when styling. So if I'm lining it up and the face is smaller and we don't have enough space at the front like we do at the back of that part, you just kind of have to part it so that it makes sense. So then I go on the other side, the other half of her head, and I just kind of line everything up. I start with the half part across the head first, and I line that up to the ear, and then I go back in the back and I just line those up to make sure that they all kind of fall along the same line. So I'm lifting, I'm moving, I'm doing a lot of moving parts here. But this is all a part of pre-party, you guys. And as you can see, I'm not even gelling the hair down. Because I am, as I'm parting, I'm not just doing a reckless part. I am making sure the part is precise. You know that pre-part I do before I put the jam on it and then part it properly? That pre-part is typically straight for me, and then I go in with a jam and I clean it up. So when I go in with the gel, I'm just cleaning it up, but the part that I make before the gel is always kind of straight. So that's basically what I'm doing here. So I'm not doing like a reckless part. I am still making sure that the parts are straight. I'm making sure that they line up and that they are proportional. So yeah, don't just do like any old part just to get it out the way. Like you kind of got to make sure it's straight. Because if I had to stop and put gel on each part, then that would kind of defeat the purpose of pre-parting. So I do not put gel on it. I just kind of run through it, and that's just going to save me time as well. We're all about trying to save time. And as you guys can see in the background, the hair is already shared out. Before, I used to just kind of just pull the hair, pull the hair, pull the hair as I go. But I do find that already having the hair parted out, having them be around the same size, that does help with speed a lot. And, it just depends on the day, honestly, for me, if I'm going to pre-share the braiding hair or not. So when I said hair earlier, I meant like the braiding hair. So as you guys can see, the curly hair is already spread out as well as the braiding hair. All right, guys, so this is how I want it to look. I didn't get the best view of it, but this is how I want it to look. So now I'm going in and I'm just undoing those little small plaits I did, and now I'm going to braid her hair. So typically for a medium size for me, I have about 4 braids at the back. So you can either start with 3 braids or you can start with 4, depending on the size of the person's nape. But if I'm starting with 4 braids in the first row at the back, best believe like the second row above that is going to be about 5 braids. That's how you manage brick layering. So, and then the row above that is 6 braids, So that's how you manage brick layering and to have it nicely done. And again, I'm not using human hair in this. We're using crochet hair. Do I recommend crochet hair? I don't, because it's going to tangle, but even human hair tangles. So like, but the crochet hair definitely is going to tangle, especially this curl pattern. But this is the curl pattern that she really liked and wanted to use. So of course, we're going to go with it. And not everybody wants to buy expensive as human hair, which is like over $100 to use for a style like this. So get your other hair, and then when it start acting up, just cut it out and you'll still have not nice looking knotless braids. So yeah, that's my tidbit on that, is that if you don't want to use human hair, you don't have to. You can get you some crochet hair, and I'll link whatever crochet hair she's using in this video if you guys like it. I didn't get it on camera, but I will link it for you guys so you guys have that information. And she got it from the hair store. So whatever curl pattern she's using, we use that. And as I'm braiding, I'm just adding the crochet hair in. And later on in the video, you guys are gonna see we kind of run out of crochet hair, and we had to come up with a solution. But I'll talk to you guys about that later and how I did that. Actually, it's gonna be a really unique technique, which is crocheting the hair into the braid. So we ran out of crochet hair. Um, and I just was like, I'm not going to the store right now. Let me just braid the knotless braids, because a lot of stylists actually end up crocheting the curly hair in after the fact. So I figured for a quarter or so of her head, we could just crochet it in. We was all down for it. So that's what we ended up doing. But this is how the brick layering is, you guys. So for the first row, I did 4 braids. For this row, for the second row, I did 5 braids. And now for this row, I'm going to be doing 6 braids. So as you guys can see, and then above that is back to 5 braids, and then above that is 4 braids, and above that I think I just did like 2 because it got so small. So the middle part was utilized because, as you can see in this section, I used the middle part, but then below it I put a braid there. So that is how you want to utilize the middle part as for your brick layering. So now we're at this top part, which I'm only going to use do 2 braids in this. If I had squeezed 3 in it, it would have looked awkward and not proportional. So 2 was the best fit for this because of sizing and stuff like that. So as you can see, I put the crochet in hair in. I braid a little bit. I pull one leg out. I braid down a little bit more, and then I pull the other leg out. So that is my best way of securing the crochet hair in, and just not having it bunched up. Just having it have a variation when it falls, so that they're not both on the same length. One is higher than the other. And this is, we are at the point where I ran out of crochet hair, and this is how it looks. So now I'm just going to go in. I'm going to tell you guys what I did. So um, when I parted this, guys, the parting was a little bit too thick when I got to the top. So I kind of have to take away from that. So instead of lining the parts up directly with the parts at the back, I went ahead and went a little bit above that part, and that is a-okay when you get to the front. Nobody's checking for it to go all the way around. So that's what we did. We just kind of went up a little bit. It's better to be more proportional at the front than it is to try to make it line up perfectly. And then you have these big bulky braids at the top and then smaller braids at the side by the ear. So we're just going to fix that now rather than regret it later. So that's what I did. So I'm just gonna braid these out regular because, like I said, we don't have no hair right now. But later on, I'm gonna find some hair because we were gonna run to the store, but I ended up looking in my little stash, and we ended up finding some hair. It's not the same exact hair as the one. It's actually on a weft, and I had to cut it off of a weft and crochet it into the braids. But you let me know in the comments if you guys see a difference in it. The only difference I would say is that I do not like the crochet method because it doesn't seem as secure as the braiding in method. So I would not use that method again if I had the option, even though it is the lazy method to get these goddess braids done faster. I just wouldn't use that method because I don't feel like the hair is secure. So I feel like, and we talked about this with her, that, over time it might slip out more. Most definitely gonna slip out faster than the other ones would, because the other ones are super secured in there. I braided them down, I braided them in it. So they are super secured. But when it comes to like using the crochet needle and pushing it through, it can get a little bit tricky and hard to fully secure the hair in. So I can imagine, like, when she goes to like maybe brush it out, hopefully she doesn't have to brush it out because this hair is way too tight. Like the curly hair is way too tight for her to be brushing out anyways. But if she had to, let's do another scenario where it's looser hair and they wanted to wet it and brush it out. um yeah, the hair will definitely be slipping out eventually, because it's just, I mean, even when I tie it in a knot, it's just still loose and it's just not doing what it needs to do. So I highly do not recommend using the crochet needle to add curling hair to your knotless braids unless you're doing it yourself. Unless you want to save some money, that is a very smart way to save money nowadays, y'all, is to get somebody to do your knotless braids and then come home and crochet them curly hairs in your braids. So a little tidbit on that if you guys want to try. But then again, like I said, they will slip. But at the same time, like, y'all probably just save y'all $100 or $200 off of a style if you just did that. So anyways, yeah, I'm almost done with it, you guys. So I went through and I kind of got a hair off the weft. I cut it off the weft. It looks like the same curl. It saved us a trip to the store, and we're fine with it. She's good with it. So this is what we're doing. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this style once it's completed. Let me know what you learned. If you've made it this far, go ahead and like the video. Let me know if you like the video. If you do like it, go ahead and like it. If something you learned, go ahead and comment to me and let me know what you learned or what you want to learn from me next in my next videos, so that I can provide that for you guys. I'm diving deep. I know I've probably said this before, but I really am diving deep into hair more and more and more and more. So I want to provide more hair videos for you guys. So I'm gonna focus on just do a new style. So if you guys have a style in mind, just be like, hey, can you try this style? I really want to learn how to do this. So I would love to have you guys send in some suggestions for a style you would like me to do. And if I can, or feel like I'm capable, or if I would love to even try it, I most definitely will try to do it. Okay, but you got to give me time. You can't send in a comment, I agree to it, and then you expect it the next day. Like, give me like a month or so. But this is the finished style, you guys. It looks so good. I'm not, I was kind of scared of these curls because I just know they're gonna knot up on her, but she's used them before and it just looks really, really nice. Like, I really like how tight they are. Typically for this style you use like a looser curl pattern, but look how cute this is. It's so nice and full, and it's so like, it's so just cute. Like, just look goddessy, I guess. I mean, that's what it's called, but it just definitely looks different, and just super cute. It looks like, I don't know how to describe it, y'all, but it just looks cute to me. And then I didn't put any curly hair at the end, so all we have at the end is it goes straight. So it's kind of like mixed in. So it's giving like texture, it's giving like a vibe, it's giving boho, it's giving like goddess. Like, she looks so beautiful too. Like, look at her skin glowing. She's so pretty. That's my cousin, y'all. So yeah, we did a good job. So let me know in the comments what you guys think and if you would try this style.